This is the Talk There Issues, and you're with me, Memory Banda. I'm so excited today to have our young people in the building. These are the young people that have been in the forefront doing remarkable work in the country. They have been advocating on different issues that affect young girls, that affect the youths in general. And I'm so excited to have them in the house, and they'll bring out the different issues that they have been working on and the issues that they hope that will need to be addressed. So with me today in the studio is Foster. Foster is a young leader with a journalism background. He is currently working with SAT as an assistant youth technical officer and youth M-Hub coordinator. In 2018, he was named as a national SRHR youth champion by USAID. He has advocated on various youth-led issues, both locally and globally. And in 2019, he was a part of youth in Malawi that won the Best Initiative in Health Award in Cairo, Egypt. And I also have Mervis. Mervis is only 22 years old, and she's passionate about girls' rights and youth empowerment. She has been actively involved in youth empowerment programs with UN Women and also Plan International. She has also been a member of UN Women Directors Civil Society Youth Advisory Board from 2017 to 2019. She is now working with SAT Malawi. So we also have Zoila. Zoila is the youngest. She's actually our youngest guest. She's 16 years old. She's a student, and she has been very vocal on issues of girls' education. She is one of the adolescent mentors under the Commonwealth, and currently she's also serving as an adolescent advisory board for Foundation for Girls Leadership. Welcome, guys. It is an honor to have all of you today, and especially that I already stipulated this is a platform for young people, and you are actually the first group of young people, very young actually, very young people, and you are the first male guest. So today I really want us to discuss about meaningful participation of young people. What does it mean when we say meaningful youth participation, active participation of young people in developmental activities? And at the same time, how do we engage with governments or even non-government organizations? How do we also engage with our fellow young people so that we work together collectively to ensure that young people are being empowered? And I'll start with you, Foster. You have worked with SAT Malawi, and you have also been engaged in different platforms, both locally and national, and even at international platforms. And we have seen that the different policies that actually empower the young people. Do you think in Malawi, when it comes to engaging with young people, do you think we are there? Like, what is the move like? Is the government working towards achieving what is being stipulated in the National Youth Policy?
All right, thank you. I think that's a good question. At the moment, they're reviewing the National Youth Policy. It was came out of date. It was launched in 2013.
Yes.
Yeah. So now it expired. So they're reviewing it. So I was fortunate enough on Thursday. I attended some of the consultations.
Interesting.
Yeah, under the National Youth Policy. So they have done consultations in other districts. So right now they're at the national level, but they're yet to validate it. So the National Youth Policy has 6 priority areas. It focuses on education, science and technology, economic empowerment, youth in health and nutrition, comes with national youth services as well, sports, recreation. There are several areas under that. So looking at the environment, I feel like there is that potential that young people can do more, but at the moment things are not going in the right direction. We can say, for example, of leadership and meaningful youth participation, taking it to the district level. Young people are there. Right now we're trying to make movements in terms of area development committees and seeing young people being represented, village development committees, young people are being represented. But at the council, young person can be represented but doesn't have the power to vote. That's a critical issue that came out during the consultations as well.
What do you mean when you say they don't have the power to vote?
Okay, at the council, each and every district, they have the full council where it's made up of ward councillors. Yeah, so they are voted. Ward councillors are there to make decisions in terms of developmental decisions. Yeah, and the DC is the chair. So the DC and other interest groups, including young people, people living with disabilities, women, they are there, they're represented, but they don't have a say when the decision is there. It's only the ward councillors that get to have to speak or to vote. So it's still there that young people are not empowered. They may be represented at the full council, but they don't have a say.
And Mervis, can you just stipulate to me, why do you think the government needs to invest in the youths?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. To begin with, I'll go back to something you said earlier about Malawi's population, saying Malawi's population is very youthful. A lot of people are young people. That itself is the number one reason the government should invest in young people. Because you see that in the end, there are these young people who have these like really amazing ideas on how we can develop our nation, but they're not really empowered. The environment around them does not support them to implement those ideas. So investing in young people, giving them a chance to put into practice what they have learned, what they're thinking about would be a very good start in developing the nation. I also want to go back to the issue of the internship program for one. You'll find that young people, when they're leaving school, they're full of those really great ideas. But now when they go out there into the industry, a lot of them are just staying at home when they have these really amazing things they could do. When they have expertise in different areas, in agriculture, in health, but they're not really, the spaces are not there for young people. So and you find that even for a young person fresh out of school to apply for a job, they'll say we need experience. Yes, and a young person, where will they get that experience?
You find that you're just a fresh graduate.
Yes, and then you find that almost every job vacancy is saying you need 4 years minimum experience or 5 years minimum experience. How do young people get these experiences? Is by government also investing in making sure that the internship program that they have is expanded, so that now it's not just bringing in more issues to us in only a few young people have access to it, but expand it so that it's not just a problem now on its own. It's assisting a lot of young people. Also expanding it into now the private sector, into CSOs, like making it something more of like a mandatory thing, like saying institutions should feel obligated, to have young people as interns, so that the spaces that we have in the government internship programs may not really be enough, but government should also take a step by partnership with CSOs, with private sector on introducing more of these spaces.
Absolutely. So it's quite a lot of things that actually the government, and I like it that you have actually linked that it's not only the government that have to do this, it's also the private sectors. They have to ensure that they have programs that actually empowers the youth, that actually gives opportunities to the young people to be involved in different platforms in different sectors and actually in career growth. And I'd like to hear from Zoira. Zoira, you are a young person and you have been involved in so many activities that have to do with girls' empowerment. And I want to hear from you. What are the biggest challenges that young girls actually are facing out there?
All right, Memory. I would say many girls are actually denied of proper education, because recently I've been at the village, so I saw a lot
you
of
went to see
family. So I see a lot of talented girls. They're talented, they know how to do everything, but then they're denied education. They can't go to school because their parents are discriminating them, because they're female. They're going to get married eventually, the husband will take care of them. That's their mindset. The boy has to go to school because he's going to help the home. He has to balance everything.
You know how it's so funny how people think that that's an odd thing, where parents are simply just looking at the male figure in the family, that the boy has to go to school. It actually still happens, you know.
People don't believe that. And in such a modern daytime, we still see people getting sexually harassed. I've seen my sister go to work and she has to wear something really long, have to cover her arms and everything, and I asked her, why are you dressed up like that? Can't you wear some? It was really hot. I was like, please wear something short. And she was like, no,
be free.
Be free. And she's like, no, my workplace they don't allow this. I was like, why? It's like, no, you're gonna spoil the kids, this and that. I was like,
and maybe the male will look, and then they'll go like, like, let's say, that's why actually in the communities when a girl is raped, people say it's her fault.
It's her fault. Why is it her fault?
Exactly.
In this modern day, I really expect people to know that, okay, if I dress like this, mind your own business. If I dress like, I buy my own clothes. Why is it your concern on how I'm dressing? That's none of your business. If you buy my clothes, okay, you be concerned. But then it's none of their business. For a man to actually be involved, it's like, no offense. No offense. But then for a guy to actually, I think guys are actually okay with girls dressing in short clothes. But then I think it's just the mindset of our men and how they're actually brought up. A man who's been brought up with morals and values, proper education, I don't think a man can do that.
Yeah, exactly.
If you bring up your children in the right manner, they're not going to do that. If you bring up the men of our generation, the coming generation, in a proper manner, I don't think our women will be scared to go out dressed in short clothes. We're not going to be scared.
Well, we have really discussed a lot. We'll take it up from here. And now we are really going to have a short break. And when we come back, we're going to discuss further about the gaps that are there in the government in terms of empowering the young people, in the organizations and the alike, and how we young people can actively participate in different developmental platforms. Thank you so much. Welcome back. We are at it again, and I will continue discussing from where we stopped. Previously, we have talked about the challenges that young people face in Malawi and the gaps that are there in ensuring that young people's needs are actually addressed. And right now, we'll go a little bit in depth to that. I want Memphis to stipulate a little bit about what do you think are the gaps that are actually there that actually affect young people, and actually that are actually more of like bringing in a gap to ensure that young people's needs are addressed.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll begin with saying the platform for young people to actively participate in decision making. It's not as it should be. I know we have all these policies, all these government institutions saying we have like youth representation, but to them youth representation is just having a young person sitting at a certain board, like just as a picture, to show out there that yes, we have a young person in our organization, in this institution we have young people as representatives, but to them young people are there as representatives, as they're putting it. They're not there as participants, as active participants, as decision makers.
And you're one of the young people that you were actually on advisory board of directors with, you said?
That was
UN.
Yeah, that was the UN Women Executive Directors Civil Society Advisory Board. So it was.
How was your experience like?
Overwhelming, I should say, because it was like a really large board. It had 12 people.
Oh, wow.
It was a global board. So all the other members of the board were like CEOs, founders, executive directors, and I was actually the only young person of that board. So for me, at first, it was like really overwhelming, because I felt like, what have I done as a young person to deserve sitting on this board, and what are the expectations? What are they expecting from me? So
you really needed to work hard at it.
Yes, I really needed to work hard at it, but most importantly, I really needed, coming back here now, here in Malawi, I really needed to have like connection links with the people I should be representing, because I was there representing civil society in general and youth, young people in general. So this is another gap that is there actually, that you have you find that young people are getting the chance to be part of these high platforms in decision making, like boards of the UN boards, different really like high platforms out there internationally, but the challenge now comes in when those people are back here in Malawi. Who do they have supporting them? Whose voice are they carrying in the country, taking it to that level? Because you find they're saying I'm a youth representative from Malawi, but coming back in Malawi, they're not connected to any youth network. They're not connected to any government institutions or anything.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Like empowering a young person doesn't mean just doing one thing. It means you have to do a lot of things. There's so many different approaches that actually young people can be reached out into. Yeah, so I'm not sure if there is anything else, but if there isn't, I want us to go back to it. I want to hear from Foster. What do you think that the government can do more?
Okay, I will speak in terms of, I feel like young people are innovative enough. They are able to invent something, but the gap comes in where government don't take up these innovative ideas of young people. You can see some guy who harnessed the wind, the other guy who invented the cement making machine. Those young people are developing interesting ideas, but government and other institutions, they're not really that serious taking them up and developing their ideas, but we wait for other investors, national investors.
Like for those guys that you have just mentioned, like later on it's actually international communities coming in, taking them. But then like we really have innovative young people in Malawi that if you actually support them in what they do, they can become unstoppable, and they can become even bigger in what they are doing.
What Foster said just reminded me of something I saw on social media. I think it was on Facebook during the early months when we had this COVID thing, when it was just still new. There's this guy, he's pretty popular on Facebook. I just saw a post about how he had invented a ventilator. So you see that that with the whole COVID-19 situation, so the government should take this opportunity, make use of such young people with great innovative ideas on how they can scale up that project, and then you find that something that's a challenge somewhere else, we could have been much better off. I'm still not sure about how that person has been engaged with the government so far, but approaching such people would be a great start.
And also another way to go about it can be like maybe creating a basket fund, an investment fund where there's several resources located there, so that maybe a young person has developed a certain interesting idea, innovative idea. The money from that basket fund can be able to sponsor that direction as well. And also maybe on the agriculture side, also sponsoring maybe youth-led organizations in terms of schemes, irrigation side. Maybe you can see that maybe young people will be empowered and they'll be booming as well.
And I just want on the final note from all of you, child marriage is a very big problem in Malawi, and I remember that with Mavis we were on a very big campaign. We worked with different organizations and they're like to actually change the legal marriage age from 15 to 18. And I wanted to say that's a very big movement that was laid by young people. I want to hear from all of you, why is it important that we have to build young people's movement in Malawi? Starting from Foster.
Being 18 is actually the limit. Actually, I would say I would get married if I have a job, a car, and everything. I'm independent. I wouldn't actually want to depend on a man for everything. So I'd actually say 18, actually be dependent and get married. 18 is actually...
It's even small.
It's very small.
That's why, on Plan International, they have that project 18 plus.
Yes.
I like that one.
So imagine if you're saying 18 is small, the situation we had was much worse. It was actually 16 and below 16 with consent. So you see that I'm just trying to point out how child marriage is really a big issue. And coming back to your memory about the campaign that we did, I think one of the reasons that campaign was successful is because it was led by young people, as you say. Because I being someone who was involved in that campaign, the personal feeling I had as an individual was that wow, I'm being part of something really great. I'm
Yeah.
being part of
And
creating
I'm doing
history
it
right
not
there.
just for me, but for
Yes.
my fellow young
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. So that's the thing about youth-led movements, because they are done with passion. They're being done by young people who are the ones experiencing these problems in the communities. It has happened to their friend. It has happened to their cousin, to their sibling.
Yeah, and that's what I was just sharing with us.
Yeah, exactly. Because for me, that campaign, I had joined it, I participated in it now from a personal point of view, saying that I had gone, actually I had just moved to a very rural area in Kasungu by the time that campaign was starting, and I had seen how girls were dropping out of school. I'd seen how we would go attend a wedding, and the bride was someone who had been in your class yesterday, someone who was like maybe 15, 16. So if we copy that example, if we emulate that example that is being shown through youth-led movements, I feel like if there are movements about young people should be the ones on the forefront.
Yeah.
It creates, so much noise. Like it's young people, and they're like being
So
right there.
enthusiastic.
Yes, yeah.
Foster, why should young people be involved in actually movement led by young people? Why are they important?
I feel like there's power in empowering young people, and when young people are in the forefront, they own it.
Yeah.
So it's like they can relate to it, the situation, so they can own it. I'll give an example, like from where I'm working, SARS, they literally leave us to do programming, designing, everything on our own. So at the end of the day, when they're trying to hold us accountable, it would be easier for us to answer back to them. And actually, when it's youth-led, it has that vibe. You guys have fun at the end of the day.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you guys are solving a certain problem at the end of the day. So I feel like if we have a lot of youth-led organization or youth-led programs, I feel like at the moment it will show that Malawi, with its huge population, being young people, we can at least move somewhere else where maybe looking at situations like, for example, in South Africa, young people are able to stand in the forefront. Botswana as well, going to the parliament, holding those duty bearers accountable, and changing situations and narratives and other stories as well. So I feel like it's about time Malawi also adopt something like that.
Exactly. Zoila?
It's like making use of our young people.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, we can't always rely on our elders because they're growing old. Now we have to take over.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's actually putting news to us. It's time we take over. You've done your part. Let us now lead. Give us the chance to speak. And I don't think it's always about the government has to help us. The government, you also do something.
Exactly.
There's social media. There's everything nowadays. You can stand on yourself. Make an example. It's not always about, please help me do this. I need help to do that.
Yeah.
No, it's not about that always. You can stand on your own. You can do things by yourself. I remember, like, is it Mr. Bean? He was refused, like, to do in most acting things because of his speech. Then he started by himself.
Yeah.
And now look at him. He's really famous.
Exactly.
You can do things by yourself. You just need courage, maybe a little bit of help from family and others, friends, a bit of support.
So we have to believe in ourselves.
Believe in yourself. You have the power to do everything.
Yeah. So that's it, guys. And we have really discussed a lot. And I like the biggest takeaway point is believe in yourself. You can be anything that you can ever dream of, and never underestimate the power of an idea. Never think that your idea is something that people cannot take. Your idea has a greater impact on people's lives, because we are the social changers. We can change every situation that actually surrounds us as young people. And to the government and to the CSOs and to all the influencers out there, we are young people, and we are not young in brain. We are capable of doing everything, and we have solutions to the issues that affect us directly. We know the things that affect us, and we have the solutions to the issues that affect us every day. And that's it, guys. Until next time, and you were with me, Memory Banda.